The battlefield was filled with smoke, fire, and the roar of engines as Russian T-90M tanks surged forward, breaking through a Ukrainian defensive line. The massive armored machine pushed ahead, scattering debris as it forced its way into contested territory. Russian crews believed they had finally created a breach, one that could give their side a tactical advantage.
Смотри, тройка может занять ту кишку верхнюю.
Да. Сейчас они все просмотрят внимательно.
Мы уже возле окопки какой-то.
Это тоже важно, тоже важно.
Начинать движение.
Давай.
But what the crew inside the T-90M did not realize was that a pair of Ukrainian eyes were already locked on them, not human eyes, but the unblinking lens of a first-person view FPV drone silently circling above the battlefield. The hunters were patient, waiting for the perfect strike.
А в який район вона попіздила? Щось не понимаю.
Все, плюс-плюс. Бачимо. Можете вынести. Да. Все, плюс-плюс.
На Покровске пиздует тварь по полю.
For a few moments, the Russian tank advanced almost triumphantly. Its heavy gun fired round after round, hammering Ukrainian positions that had been weakened after hours of artillery bombardment. Infantry trailed behind, emboldened by the presence of the tank, convinced that nothing could stop its progress.
Убил, блядь, убил!
Хорош. Заебашил?
Заебашил, живой был. Откат, давай. Покатым, давай. Давай, Гарик, играй.
Unknown to them, Ukrainian drone operators sat in a concealed command point miles away, watching every move through a live video feed. Their voices were calm, precise, and deadly. Target confirmed, one operator whispered as the drone locked onto the moving silhouette of the T-90M below. The FPV drone, small, nimble, and carrying an explosive payload, began its descent. Its tiny electric motor whirred quietly, drowned out entirely by the chaos of battle. For the tank crew, who were focused on their immediate surroundings, the threat remained invisible. The tank's commander peered through his optics, scanning for Ukrainian anti-tank teams, unaware that the greatest danger came from above. The crew's attention was divided between maintaining momentum, coordinating infantry support, and returning fire. They had no idea they had already been marked for destruction. From the operator's perspective, the target grew larger on the screen. Every detail of the T-90M's armor plating came into view. The drone pilot maneuvered carefully, avoiding anti-drone jammers and waiting for the optimal angle of attack. Each second built unbearable tension. Meanwhile, Ukrainian soldiers who had been forced to retreat moments earlier regrouped behind cover. They knew what was coming. The sight of the FPV drone diving toward the enemy tank filled them with hope that technology and precision could counter brute force. Then the moment came. With a sudden surge of acceleration, the drone dove toward its target. The operator's screen showed the tank filling the frame, the exhaust vents glowing, the rear armor exposed, the vulnerable weak spots practically begging for a strike. The pilot nudged the controls with precision, guiding the drone with lethal intent. There was no turning back now. The battlefield shook as an ear-splitting explosion erupted from the rear of the T-90M. Fire engulfed the engine compartment, tearing through steel and igniting the tank's interior. The sheer force of the blast sent debris flying in all directions. For a brief instant, time seemed to stop. with both Russian and Ukrainian soldiers staring at the inferno in stunned silence. The Russian infantry escort staggered in shock, their advance grinding to a halt. Panic spread quickly as the once mighty T-90M, their shield and spear, transformed into a burning wreck. Smoke poured skyward in thick black plumes, ammunition inside the tank cooking off in secondary explosions that rattled the ground and sprayed shrapnel in deadly arcs. The psychological blow was devastating. From the Ukrainian side, the scene unleashed a wave of elation. Soldiers who had moments earlier been retreating now shouted and cheered, their morale surging as the feared tank collapsed in flames. The destruction of the T-90M was not just another tactical kill, it was a moment of vindication, proof that their defenses could withstand even Russia's most advanced machines. For them, it was a reminder that courage and ingenuity could overcome sheer firepower. Back in the drone operations hub, the pilot and his team exchanged quick nods. They had completed another mission, yet none of them underestimated the stake. Every flight risked failure, every strike risked detection and loss. Still, each successful hit sent a powerful message. No tank, no matter how advanced, was safe. The balance of power on the battlefield was shifting one drone at a time. As the smoke continued to rise, the battlefield seemed to pause, both sides absorbing the shock of what had just unfolded. The Russian breakthrough had collapsed as swiftly as it had begun. The once invincible T-90M now lay gutted and burning, reduced to nothing more than twisted metal. Above it all, the lesson was undeniable. In this war, the hunters of the sky would always find their prey, and no armor was strong enough to escape the relentless gaze of the FPV drones.